Hey guys, sorry for the late update. Good afternoon. Happy Tuesday. Look, guys, we're going to release the stock of the week on Thursday morning. And the reason is we had that retail report this morning and things are kind of making sense going forward. Sorry, guys, the sun just came out in Honolulu. It's been pouring rain. I don't have the curtain on. So let's just keep going anyways. It's all about the message, not the messenger, right? And so look, guys, we had this retail report this morning and it was weak, right? It was a retail report for February. Now, remember, that's coming off the January retail report, which was super strong, right? Now, what else happened during those periods? Well, in January, we got a $600 stimulus, right? And you saw money went right to retail. A lot of the reason for that, and nobody really wants to admit this, is that a lot of that stimulus really is expendable for most people. There are people that really, really need that money without question. And I will say this, I say the same thing about welfare. If it keeps one family that couldn't feed themselves fed, it's worth all the other BS that comes with it. It's worth the weight of the price tag. It helps one family. So look, now all of a sudden you fast forward to March. What didn't happen in February? Well, we didn't have any more stimulus, right? And that $600 don't go very far. So we saw a sag in retail sales. And now all of a sudden you go to mid-March and we have a stimulus again. Guess what? This thing's more than double the last stimulus. So it'll be interesting to see how this last 2 weeks, how the spending goes. And we'll see that next month in the March report. So that was one little breadcrumb, right? You're trying to follow this breadcrumb of economic growth and potential so you can make sure your investments are in line with it. Right. So you've got that little breadcrumb going on. Now, tomorrow we've got the Jackson Hole press release from the Fed meeting, the monthly Fed meeting. And this will be important because I think what's happening right now, the market is at a point where it wants to hear from the Fed a very, very definite and workable plan if we start seeing hyperinflation or some superinflation, right? The Fed has a target of 2.25%. We're at 1.6 already. We made this leap from below 1 to 1.6 very quickly, right? So it's very realistic that very quickly, especially when you think about it, this stimulus, right? $1,400 a person gets thrown into that spending pool. All of a sudden, too, if you look, all these states are opening up. People are going back to work, more and more spending, right? More consumption, things like that, more disposable income. And you throw that in there, right? So that growth, right, is normal to be with inflation. And the better the growth, the better the inflation. So I think that's what's going to happen is once we get that report at 2 o'clock tomorrow, from the Fed, the market's going to want to see what is the plan if this inflation goes into hyperinflation, or what if it goes over the 2.25 target they have, right? You can't keep buying 2 years to stop that. That'll just fuel it more. But so look, guys, let's keep it very simple. I always talk to you guys about, you can turn this into an economics lesson, a course, but let's keep it simple for us laymen. All we want to know is it going to go up or is it going to go down? But once we get that report, I've got a couple stocks I'm looking at that I want to release to you guys. So we'll see how that report goes. Also, too, we're going to have some big earnings coming up, right? We got Nike coming up. We've got Ali Bargain Basements, which is very influential in that mid-level retailer, right? It's like your Ross Dress for Less and stuff like that. And then, of course, with those some other earnings, but we want to see how those retail earnings go. And when you watch these retail earnings, guys, yes, it's going to have some quarterly reports, but that's the last quarter. Okay. What you want to watch is at the end when they talk about the guidance. What do they see going forward? Again, you've got an economy that's reopening quickly. You've got people that are going back to work quickly. We'll see that on Thursday morning too, right? Because we'll have the unemployment reports. Let's see if that's really true. Now you put those three together, you've got the potential for high inflation, but you've got this super growth. So you're going to want to know what's going on, where to put your money. Okay, guys? So I'm not going to keep you too long today. Let's close it with that. We can go check the stock market real quick. Let me share my screen with you here. All right. And let's refresh. Look at that. Russia and Iran tried to interfere in the 2020 election. Don't tell the woke crowd that. You can see the S&P was green most of the day. It just rolled over a little bit red. The NASDAQ was real strong this morning, and all of a sudden it's down flat. I think people are kind of backing off. We closed that VIX short we had this morning. That's why we're late with the report. We made about 45% on that trade, but we tapped that out because we felt the market would get a little volatile going into this Jackson Hole report. Volume's not that strong, so it's a listless move. The old saying is never short a dull market, but we know this is kind of a different market, right? Bitcoin, right? It hit that 61,000. It's come back a little bit. Maybe there's some sag in that too. You see your bonds, right? We're back up that 1.625. 1.6 seems to be the normal now. Remember just a couple weeks ago, just a few weeks ago, 1 was the normal. So we got to keep an eye on that inflation. Oil is just kind of flatlining right now around that $65 a barrel, which makes sense. Again, here's another potential for where to put your money in, right? Everything's reopening. We've heard from members that in Los Angeles, they were traveling, they're in Los Angeles, all the domestic flights were packed to the gills. The international flights still empty. But as that international comes back in, wow, what about some airlines? Well, a couple months ago, we mentioned in a stock of the week, Hawaiian Airlines. It's a double already. And it's got a good dividend, and it owns the Hawaii tourism area, them in love. So look, guys, we'll be here Thursday morning with the stock of the week. And this one will be a really, really important one. So please tune in. And also we'll do our Wednesday morning update tomorrow, guys. Other than that, we're going to just kind of sit back and wait for this Jackson Hole report to come out. Then we'll see the unemployment report Thursday morning. Then we'll start thinking about maybe putting some bets on the table. All right, gang. Right now, it's just kind of uncertainty. It's listless move. Day trader day. It's a day trader day. All right, gang. So you guys have a great Tuesday. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning on time. And other than that, aloha from Hawaii.